Hi, it's Dave Michaels. I'm at the Five9 CX Summit with Jonathan Rosenberg, the CTO of Five9. What an incredible pleasure this is.
Thank you, Dave.
Let's start off real quick with the theme of this event, the new CX.
The new CX.
What is the new CX?
All right. The new CX is recognizing that there was an old CX, Dave.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I know the old CX.
Yeah, we all know the old CX.
Okay.
The old CX is that terrible CX, to be totally honest, where you call the contact center and you hate it, you speak to a bot that doesn't understand you. Operator, you press 1, you know. It's the experience we're all familiar with and we've all disliked for a long time. And the new CX is us finally being able to, as an industry, address it, and that's what Five9 is doing. Five9 is going after and
all right, so let me stop you there, because first you said as an industry, and so I can't help but notice almost every CCaaS company has started using the term CX.
Yes.
So are you attempting to reclaim CX as a Five9 thing, or what's going on?
All right, that's another great question. So there's two ways we can think about CX, right? One is, it's a marketing term, and we like to use it in that way. But I think there is something actually more happening here, and that's what we're also ultimately striving to do here at Five9. And I'll tell you this is a story, Dave, right? If I may. So the story is, rewind time 20 years ago, right? If you wanted to book an airline ticket, what did you do? Before the internet and web, you called, right? So it is actually true that there was a time 20 years ago where all of the non-physical experiences between a brand and a customer, like outside of retail stores, were actually through the contact center.
I remember asking L.O. Bean what periwinkle was.
Right, exactly. Okay, yeah. And they had agents who could handle it, and it literally owned the customer experience. And what's happened is obviously Web 2.0 was what came along and allowed people to automate all those things. And of course, a lot was gained in there, which was speed and automation, but a lot was lost, which was flexibility, personalization, and that human touch. And with what I think is happening now, and what Five9 is really working towards, is saying, you know what? A lot of that traffic that went to Web 2.0, you actually might enjoy doing it via these next generation AI agents and combined with human agents when needed, is actually going to be better. And so at Five9, I would love to bring back these interactions that were lost to the e-commerce website and bring them back into this new conversational-centric AI agentic experience.
So bring back periwinkle, basically. But
yes.
But my question there, though, is that why now? I mean, the industry's been kind of moving away from that. What's changed? And I think I'm going to set you up with one of your statements you said earlier when you were talking about the new Five9 Insights product. You made a comment that this was impossible 3 years ago, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
So why now? What's happened?
Gen AI. I mean, it's obvious. Gen AI changed. Chat GPT changed. And that's actually the biggest proof point. Why is it I make a crazy statement, people are going to want to actually chat with this bot to get stuff done? Look at Chat GPT. Proof point that in the consumer space, people have loved this tool, they use this tool, they use it for all kinds of things, they like it, and they enjoy conducting transactions this way. So there's great evidence that there's consumer demand for this type of conversational experience now connected to brands.
Okay, so when you were talking about the Insights product, and when Mike talked about the new CX, you keep on talking about this contextual data.
That's right.
But haven't we always had that? I mean, contextual data is not new, and the other term that keeps coming up is personalization. I think you said hyper-personalization.
Right, hyper-personalization.
So if contextual data and personalization are not new objectives, what's really happening here?
So actually, I would challenge you on one thing there, which is contextual data is new, and I'm gonna get a little technical because you're a technical guy, Dave, and your listeners here are a little technical. Generative AI brought this new idea of a prompt, of an input, and it's literally called a context window. If you read academic papers, literally they call it the context window. That's the input to the large language model, the data you can feed it in real time on a transaction by transaction basis to train it. Until Gen AI, we didn't have that concept, okay? It wasn't possible. Now we do, and so contextual data for us, refers to the data that we can now feed into the generative AI model to the LLM via the prompt that we couldn't do that before. So that's what's really new here, is we have this new vehicle for data that we didn't have previously.
But the idea of contextual data, I mean, it used to just be that the agent would put you on hold to get the, let me go look something up.
In that sense, right.
Okay.
In context in the non-technical sense, you're right, isn't new. But what's new is the superpower tool that we have, right, which are these generative AI models that can now take that data and process it in real time in a way that previously only a human could, and this thing does it faster and can handle a lot more data.
Okay, so this all boils down to this question, right? Because the way you're describing it, every question I ask you, you kind of go somewhere dancing between the agent and the bots and the AI. So is this new CX that you're talking about, this new CX that you're reclaiming, is this a automated experience or is this an agent experience?
Yes. So it's going to evolve over time. But Dave, let me fast forward a little bit and paint you a picture where we're trying to get it to for people, for brands and for consumers, right? And imagine this new experience, right, where you go to a website and you always click on that button in the corner, or you always call up and you get connected to the AI, and honestly, it's able to handle pretty much anything you're going to want to be able to do. However, there's going to be times when the human touch matters, and I'll give an example. We'll go back to that example here that Callan gave on stage. The customer, Callan was looking to book a trip to Hawaii, and was about to book it, and he got distracted with his points balance, right? And you notice that never booked that flight. That's lost revenue for the brand. Imagine a future world where the AI again is observing this conversation, and it sees that I want to bring in a human person, and I think of them not as a contact center agent, but as a brand ambassador that comes in and says, "Hey, Callan, you didn't finalize that flight. Like, I personally went to Maui, 2 weeks ago. Waters were beautiful. You really should go. Blah blah. Blah. Close the deal." Right? So these are revenue-generating salespeople in a role that was not possible until technology has enabled this type of role. So brand ambassador is how I think about it. And I love that example, Dave, because it shows how the human and the AI work together to actually directly drive revenue for the business.
So are you suggesting that the role of the agent is going to become more of what you're calling this brand ambassador?
Yeah. I mean, you could say it'll evolve or whatever. I mean, the sort of the strongest way of saying is that, like, in some years from now, and I'll put it at 5, we'll see how I do. 5 years from now, the role of contact center agent as we know it today no longer exists. And in its place, from the ashes of that role that have burned, arises a new role that's actually much more exciting to people, much more valuable to brands, of this brand ambassador that is directly tied to the revenue generation and churn protection for the business.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you said 5 years. That's 2029. So clarify. I want to get this. I want to be sure we have the.
He wants it on the record.
Recorded history.
Am I going to have to sign a contract or something?
You don't have to. We have it right here. Yeah. We have everything recorded. So 2029. What is your prediction specifically? Let's and I can't wait to find out what this is going to be true.
Okay. So 2029. You're putting me on the spot here. So you want a metric?
You put yourself.
You want a metric?
No. You said by 20. You said within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Agents are going to go away.
Let's make it more concrete. In the next 5 years, the majority of brands will have a role that is this brand ambassador role that I talked to, and it is significantly replaced the contact center agent role.
And it's a better role.
It's a better role. It's a role people want. Today, this is another honest truth about our industry. A lot of people don't like being contact center agents. It's a difficult job, very high turnover rates, much larger than other job functions. They deal with a lot of stuff that's not that exciting. And they don't enjoy it. That's why it turns over. This role is different. This role is is more like a sales and relationship management role. And it's actually, I view this role as literally reporting into the sales organization. Right, that's a new tier of sales, right? That has never been possible before. And if you use my example I just gave, Dave, about an airline, airlines don't have salespeople that talk to consumers. They don't, okay. Right? Now they'll actually be able to have it, and those people will actually allow them to grow revenue for the business. That's a new job, and people like sales jobs. People love those jobs, and they dedicate their careers to them.
So it's a really interesting take what you're saying here, because there's a little bit of a debate out there that AI is going to replace agents completely.
Yeah.
And some people, well, that'll never happen, you know, others.
Yeah.
And you're kind of saying it will replace agents completely, but only agents as we know them.
As we know them. But that's generally been true with every technology transition, in that it eliminates some jobs, but it creates totally new ones that never even existed because they weren't possible with the technology. I mean, I have a job that didn't exist some years ago. Like, I do distributed systems architecture over the internet. Like, that job didn't exist, right? And it was created by technology. So this also is a new job that's created by technology.
Well, that's a whole new topic. Now I got a bunch of questions about what is this internet you speak of. But we're out of time here. Well,
Next time.
We got a lot of sessions to wrap. It's an amazing agenda you have packed here.
Yeah, yes.
So we're in Barcelona at the Five9 CX Summit. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
My pleasure, Dave. Great to talk to you as always. Thanks for listening.